why don't you get us going here on some what do we got going on Division 3 wise?
Yeah, so a ton of really big matchups. I picked four of them this week that I have my eye on for sure. So the first game I have number 11 Wisconsin Lacrosse takes host to number 6 Hardin Simmons. This is obviously massive matchups for both teams.
Yep.
Lacrosse is looking to build off a 31-6 victory against Dakota State. They had a interesting kind of situation going on. They were rotating quarterbacks for most of the game. Both quarterbacks played very well.
Okay.
Kaiser Helterbrand he was 12 for 18 with 196 yards and a touchdown. And Zach Wire, forgive me if that's not how you pronounce it, Zach, but 133 yards and 3 touchdowns for him. So Lacrosse's quarterbacks came to play last Saturday, so for sure.
It's big.
And then Hardin Simmons will head over to Lacrosse in hopes to begin with a 2-0 record as well. They beat Albright 47-3 last week. So, I expect Hardin Simmons to come out firing. That's a massive game for both teams.
Talk about that trip, though. I mean, we just saw UMHB make that trip up to River Falls, and I would assume that contributes to part of maybe the slow start for those Texas teams, both being in the ASC and or ASUN, is it? It's one of the two.
ASC.
Okay, there you go. And, making that trip from Texas all the way up to Wisconsin, like that's going to be something where let's see if, Lacrosse gets out early or gets out on top of that because, those, what do you call them, like the plane legs or the travel legs, like those are real. Those are very real.
Oh,
so
sure.
I think the Crew football, the Crusaders, they found that out the hard way. We'll see if Hardin Simmons can learn from watching that in week 1. But talk about UMHB. I think that's the next one on your list there.
Yep. I got so I have number 5 Trinity taking host to Mary Hardin Baylor. Disappointing starts for both teams last week. Obviously Mary Hardin Baylor kind of got roughed up a little bit by River Falls, but definitely expect them to bounce back, for sure. Mary Hardin Baylor, very, very good program. And then obviously, Trinity had a barn burner with St. John's. That was our Division I Rejects Game of the Week matchup last week in 37-34 finish, I believe, at St. John's. And also, I don't know if you know about this, Kobe, but is that kid from Trinity okay? Who got trampled in that St. John's? You're
talking about at the end of the game, right?
Yeah, did you see that?
That was ridiculous, dude. He's laying on the ground, and there's literally a crowd of people just everywhere.
Yeah, if anybody from Trinity is tuning into Division I Rejects, please let us know if that player is okay. I was like,
dude, that was insane.
The whole student section just swarmed him. That was crazy.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah, that was wild. Absolutely wild. But obviously neither of those teams want to start 0-2, so that'll be a massive game because obviously starting 0-2, that's a pretty deep hole to dig yourself out of, especially in a competitive conference that they're playing in,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good things came out of that one for Trinity. They were, at least for them, fortunately in a much different position than UMHB, right? Those two games so different, losing in overtime. The offense for Trinity behind Tucker Horn looked really solid in that week 1. He fills up the stat book every week, so their offense is going to come out and be super proficient, but a loss is still a loss. I don't care if you get beat by 1 or 100, like it's still a loss on your record, and that ain't it.
Yeah, no one wants to have a loss in the loss column after week 1. That's not where you want to be, but yeah, anyway, so into our next matchup here, we got number 19 Wisconsin Oshkosh heads down to Wheaton. This should be a pretty high marquee matchup as well. Number 19 versus number 13, a top 25 matchup. Obviously, Wheaton actually kicking off their season this week. They're 0-0. They have not played a game yet. And as for Oshkosh, Kobe Berghammer with 7 touchdowns last week, setting a school record for the Titans. Just heck of a game for the UWO quarterback. Just got to tip the cap there. Obviously, they'll be game planning for him pretty heavily, I would assume. Wheaton College is very well coached, very well established program. Fun little tidbit for you guys. Aiden O'Connell, the Raiders quarterback, was actually committed to Wheaton College out of high school. And then obviously he decommitted and went to Purdue. He got a preferred walk-on offer.
Really?
But obviously Wheaton knows how to evaluate talent and bring in good players. So expect them to have a very good season this year. So.
Well, not only Kobe Berghammer is going to have a year. The dude's freaking athletic. We've seen that firsthand when he came up here and played at Northern. He can run it. He can do it with his legs, do it with his arm. But it helps when you're throwing to what I would assume is probably the best 2 wide receivers in that conference in Trey Tetzloff and is it Tony Steger? I want to believe are the 2 of them there. Those 2 have put up a ton of numbers, and I think that is a big reason why he's having that success because, you could put Patrick Mahomes back there. If he doesn't have anyone to throw it to, you're not putting up 7 touchdowns. That's a ridiculous number. So, excited to see what he's got going on. But we got one more here that I know you're excited about.
Yeah. So again, now again, so Division One rejects D3 game of the week. St. John's is back in the D1R game of the week. You know, obviously another top 10 matchup. That's the best matchup on the board. You got to throw it back in there. So St. John's will be at Whitewater this week. I mean, that's just a pivotal game for both teams. Huge win last week over Trinity for St. John's, knocking off number 4. And now they're number 4. Whitewater now creeps in the top 10 as well. So, and then obviously the Warhawks are eager to prove that they are who they say they are. You know, they've had this run of prominence, and then they kind of had a good year. They went 8-3, but again, that's not where they want to be.
No,
that's not what their culture is about. They want to be 15-0 every year. So, I mean, they're going to be coming out strong. This should be a dandy of a matchup this weekend. And I don't know who would win this one. I mean, honestly, I was thinking about it, you know, all day today when I was writing on my little script here. But man, I can't put my finger on who's going to win this ball game, Kobe. I don't know about you, but
no, it'll be good. And
barn burner.
Yeah, and it'll be good because, like you said, it is a big prove it game for Whitewater. Like, how do I say it, like, in the nicest way possible? Like, Stevens Point going 8-3 and Whitewater going 8-3 are two totally different seasons. You know what I mean? And that's not even a diss to like one program or the other, but it's like when you have that tradition in the history of winning and that culture of winning, the bar is just set that much higher. Even when we were talking about Pueblo a little bit earlier, right? For a new head coach coming in their first year, you're typically not expected to. You have almost three nationally ranked opponents in a row. You're not expected to go out there and win all 3 of those games. Like, if you go and steal 1 or 2 of those games, you are a fantastic success. So when you're Whitewater, you are expected to sweep and clear the board and win the WEAC and make it to a deep run in the playoffs and potentially win a national championship or play 15 games, whatever the number is. So expectations certainly high. I'm excited to see that one, though. That'll be good.